On behalf of our country, I want to just let you know, anytime you have any question, any doubt, anything you want, any favors you need,
you got it.
I can do to help Japan, we will be there. We are an ally at the strongest level.
And you know what? Let's even compare this Japan to, I disagree when people say that Israel is our greatest ally or most important ally.
Yeah.
I think they're a better ally, for example, than Iran. I don't think they're as consequential as Japan, and I don't think that they have played it as straight as Japan. Japan, they're our greatest ally. Let me just state that. Lane and I are in agreement on that.
Yes.
I don't exclusively find Asian women attractive, but that's just a preference for them. Now,
Asian adjacent works for him.
that works too.
I mean,
like Singapore, which is kind of anyone's guess. So, who do you think is America's greatest ally? And this is one area where I would agree with some people who folks might say are on the fringe right. I think there are some people who are anti-Semitic who think the Jews are the cause of all ills. I disagree with people who say that Israel is our greatest ally. They're not big enough. They're not super trustworthy in some ways. And, it's a region that isn't as important as the Indo-Pacific. Canada, it's gay. The UK, too many Muslims who want to kill us. India smells like farts. This leaves us with one logical answer. One. And it involves a pretty cool chick who used to play in a rock band, who is now the prime minister. She's in charge of, and I don't fully understand their system, but, she's the one in Japan. What's her name? Takaichi. Takaichi, Donald Trump, her U.S.-Japanese alliance. This is a good thing.
The first female prime minister in the history of Japan. Madam Prime Minister, please say a few words. Thank you very much. A great man. Great man. On behalf of our country, I want to just let you know, anytime you have any question, any doubt, anything you want, any favors you need,
you got it.
I can do to help Japan, we will be there. We are an ally at the strongest level.
以上をもちまして署名式を終了いたします。両首脳が退出いたします。This concludes the signing ceremony. The two leaders are proceeding.
It's fun to stay at the YMCA. It's fun to stay at the
Oh, Chow.
She's everywhere, man.
You can't get away from her.
Gosh. Always dancing.
People who tuned in late, that makes no sense. Rewind.
it'll make even less sense.
And by the way, we're running late, and I want to do right by Tim Pool. If you're not a Rumble Premium member, you're going to be whisked to Tim Pool. Again, it's all free, but if you want to continue with us on this segment, click that button, join Rumble Premium. You can try it for $9.99 a month. Or if you want to be like the OGs with this wonderful hand-etched mug, you join for the year, $99. You get 100% more show, everything ad-free, as well as a catalog of content for premium members that you couldn't watch in a lifetime. We're going to continue with this. The meeting actually went so well that Takaichi even gave President Trump a pretty special gift that used to belong to Abe Shinzo.
Thank you very much.
Putt for dough.
They have it like in a case?
Yeah, because it's cool, Gerald.
No, the sword's cool. They've got a putter?
Oh my gosh.
No, that's his putter?
Yeah, that's Abe Shinzo's putter.
Gerald, the putter is the sword of the modern businessman.
It is.
Yes.
No, it is not. Who gives... First...
Yes.
Admonish. At least let me wait for a bad idea to come out of my mouth.
No,
You already did. You said puttered in a derogatory fashion,
Yes,
and that's enough.
You said putter wasn't worthy of a glass case?
Yeah.
If putters aren't worthy of glass, then what is?
It's
Yeah,
some
honestly.
piece of crap, Scotty Cameron, and I like golf, and if you're going to be the sword of the modern man, it's a driver, Josh, not a putter.
No. Driver for sure, putter for dough.
Japan is known for the short game.
That's right. All right. Here's why. Why is a trip to Japan so important? All right. Couple of things, and the references are available. Japan is home to the largest number of United States troops abroad. Anyway, they have 52,000. They've been a pretty key ally for the United States when you're talking about, really, you go to the Cold War, Soviet Union, Cold War 2.0, where we are right now with China. Mm-hmm. They're one of our top trading partners. There was over $220 billion in bilateral trade in 2024. Yeah. And let me also lay out the case as to why Japan, and I know they're very different. That's part of why I think it works. Japanese culture is very different. For example, I really don't like that they're never going to have, for example, a Second Amendment. It's a very different people because they come from a long line of really imperialism, and it's a very high trust, mostly homogenous society. But they have a different culture, and they don't want to export it. They just want to preserve theirs, and they have no problem with the concept of the United States preserving our culture. That's when you have two ideal partners. Right? We're never going to share the same culture. We just have to, you keep your stuff on this side of the divide, and you understand why we keep ours, and we can work together. You can't actually do that with a lot of these other countries, particularly those that are Islamic, and by the way, those that appease them, for example, Europe. So 3 reasons they're a top ally. First one, Japan actually carries its own weight. That's super important.
Yep.
Japan covers 75% of the cost of our troops being stationed there. So that's $1.72 billion annually. Let's compare that to NATO, for example. That's kind of designed to help do that. It only covers about 34% of basing costs, while other countries, of course, don't even meet their basic requirements. 2025, Japan actually announced a defense budget of $70 billion. That's 1.8% of their GDP. And that's more than a lot of, just to give you an idea, NATO nations. Here's another reason. Japan isn't playing both sides. Like even in talking with Dave Smith about this yesterday, I get it. Donald Trump is pretty cozy with Saudi Arabia and Qatar. That will backfire. It's a matter of time with Islamic nations. That's my opinion. I understand the approach, certainly when dealing with a nation like Iran, but it can never work out long-term with Islamic nations because of their foundational beliefs rooted in the Quran and Sharia law. Japan doesn't play both sides, especially with this new prime minister. They're very clear on the China threat, and they're very clear that they are on Team American alliance. Takaichi actually even pushed some anti-espionage laws, noting that every single Chinese Chinese is how we pronounce it.
Yes, please.
Is basically a potential spy. Someone call Swalwell, please.
中国いうのは国家情報法があり、すべての人民でも企業でもですね、国家の情報工作に協力せんならんに、日本におる中国人もそうですわ。それから国防動員法っていうのがありますよね。ほんならやっぱり中国の人民、55歳以下の女性、60歳以下の男性は常に国防動員準備をしてなきゃいけない。だからそれちょっとアメリカと同列に考えて付き合える国じゃないと、もう全く異質の国だと考えるべきだと私は思ってます。だから
So let's compare that to Canada, right? Supposed to be one of our greatest allies. They're not. They're terrible. The Prime Minister there, Mark Carney, led a $1.4 billion pound investment from the UK to support China's Belt and Road Initiative. Go search our previous segments on that. Carney also said it is a good thing that RMB becomes a global reserve currency there. No, it's not. Just my opinion.
Terrible.
And you know what? Let's even compare this, Japan, to, I disagree when people say that Israel is our greatest ally or most important ally.
Yeah.
I think they're a better ally, for example, than Iran. I don't think they're as consequential as Japan, and I don't think that they have played it as straight as Japan. It doesn't mean that they have a history of doing this all the time, but Israel has passed off United States tech to China. You remember this in the 90s? Beijing received tech for jets, air-to-air missiles, tanks. Thanks, Israel. In 2013, there were secret United States missile and electro-optics tech that Lane was kind of educating us on this. It was passed on to China from Israel. Japan hasn't done that, if only because of their deeply rooted racism against the Chinese people, which I'm okay with. It's one of our safeguards is their racism toward the Chinese.
Yeah, they got big beef, big Kobe beef.
Reason number 3 that Japan is a great ally. They're not suicidal, like I said, about their culture.
Yeah.
To give you an idea, we have...
They are suicidal when it comes to dishonor, though.
Well, okay, I should say their culture is honorable suicide, but they're not suicidal about their culture at large.
Thank you for clarifying.
Poor choice of words. Like, you think they would have any chip in their brain for the open borders policy here? I don't know what the number is right now, because it depends on estimates. It's like 10%. Japan freaked out when their foreign population, that doesn't even mean just illegal aliens, meaning when people who didn't look exactly like the next Japanese person, when that reached 3%, they're like, we have a serious problem.
His eyes are too closed. Must be Chinese.
Yes.
They got pissed.
Dude, Takaichi said, if visitors come from abroad, well, if visitors come from abroad and intentionally harm what Japanese people cherish, then something has gone too far.
And she's right.
She's right.
Absolutely, she's right.
They don't care. They're not worried about offending people. They just all go like, hey, too far.
They have a homogenous culture. They can do that.
They don't have. You're right. They don't have any scope of what the border thing that we have. They don't even have a land border.
Right.
I don't think. Not one, right?
Well, it's a very
Russia?
different, like you said, it's homogenous. They actually have a people, a race. We don't really have the same thing here, but we do have to acknowledge that this country was largely white European Protestant. That's the basis for it. And that does need to be preserved as true north for us to remain the United States of America. It's different from Japan, but we've obviously gone too far, and Japan doesn't let it get anywhere near that point. We respect their culture. It's different from ours, and they respect ours. And here's the thing, too, is they can respect other cultures. A big reason is because they respect their own people, right? The Japanese. You can't say the same about Islamic culture. They abuse and mistreat their own people. Why would they treat us fairly? Japan is far more fair with their own people. No one's perfect, but they're better than other people who have been claimed as our greatest allies, whoever that may be, depending on the decade. Let's compare this to the UK. Starmer spends his days pandering to, like I just said, the Islamic anti-Western community.
I'm so sorry that we're meeting in these circumstances because that was a horrific attack that will have impacted every single member of the community. We've just been talking to some of the family members and getting a sense firsthand of the personal impact. I'm really pleased today that we are announcing a further £10 million to support our mosques on top of the support we've already put in.
Thank you all for being here. I can't wait. We've got a really good opportunity to have a discussion later on about your work, bringing communities together, breaking down barriers, challenging misconceptions.
Rotten eggs? What is that?
Be done over and over and over
Dates?
again. You know that. And supporting other young people. So it's fantastic for me to be sharing this IFTA with you and throwing the doors at number 10 open and demonstrating that this building belongs to you just as much as it belongs to anyone else.
Oh, very tolerant. Now do part where 158 million Muslims want to kill you.
Did he have a sit down like that with the victims of child rape in those neighborhoods?
No, it didn't happen.
No,
No,
it didn't happen.
Did he even admit that it happened, or did he?
No, you look at the left.
That's right. I think I remember now.
Yeah, you look at the left across the globe, and they always take the side of criminals, like Mamdani here, or like Islamic jihadists over there in the UK. And here's another, just I guess, kind of a bonus. Japan, by the way, takes business, which is important, very seriously. Oh, I'm glad he was there. So
he was proposing letting more immigrants into Japan.
Here's where we kind of are. And hopefully we could find some common ground here because, like we talked about yesterday, there's been a real wedge where you have people who accuse you of being a shill if you think that Israel does anything well. And then, of course, you have people who accuse you of being an anti-Semite if you don't say that Israel is our greatest ally. Let's just talk about this sort of militarily and strategically. What's the most significant threat to the United States? Do you think that's going to come from the Middle East? Or do you think it's going to come from China? We've been told that they're the next great superpower for a very long time. The only person who's been trying to do anything about it would be Donald Trump. And of course, Japan has recognized it for a long time. By the year 2030, Asia is going to account for about 60% of global GDP. China is the biggest threat. They've been saber-rattling. They've never not been communist. And the Islamic world can be relatively contained, and I think they can hash a lot of this out themselves. If it becomes a threat to us, of course, deal with it, keep it contained. China is something we have to keep our eyes on, and Japan, it's also an example too. Look, we've actually had an alliance with them. We dropped the nukes.
Yep.
And afterwards, we came to the table. We're like, guys, listen, we're sorry, kind of not sorry. Drop the nukes, and we actually want to help you guys rebuild. Now, we still don't want you to rebuild the military, so we're going to protect you, and you guys can spend those resources on developing your economy. And we'll let you know when we trust you enough, because, you know, you did force us to drop the nukes, but hopefully we all get it. And Japan was like, oh, fair play. And they... It's like this idea that you have these libertarians now who are like, well, this idea that you're going to bomb somebody and then negotiate after. How is that a new idea? Do you know what submission is? That's what it is. If you're at war, you have to defeat them. You have to bring them to a point of submission where you go, all right, now we give you the out. People act like that's this new foreign concept.
Let them tap.
Yeah.
You don't got to kill the guy, but put him in a chokehold and let him tap. Put him in an armbar. Let him tap.
Yep. Yeah.
Show them what's up. And I would argue that Japan, that the reason for their great economic growth and their advances in technology, we all know, are because of the fact that they weren't allowed to develop their military. All that energy, all that power, all that brain power, all that work went into other things, other industries.
Right.
Nintendo, you're right.
And I'm a non-interventionist.
No, I mean, yeah, you joke in Nintendo, but yes.
No, for sure.
Like all these different industries that Japan has mastered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they weren't worried about building missiles and bombs and you know.
Yeah, that was a big
stealth
part of it.
tech or whatever the heck.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of what we've done with a lot of African nations, right? Where we spend tons of money just sending it to their governments, and they're more poor. They're significant. There was like a point where African nations, like 60% of the revenue came from foreign aid.
Yeah.
And so their entire governments were just designed around, what do we need to do to get more foreign aid? Well, I don't know if you need to prove poverty levels to get more aid. So they have an incentive to keep their people poor. Japan had the opposite. It's like, look, don't do the military thing because we still don't fully trust you, but we're going to protect you. So they said, all right, let's become an economic powerhouse. And you know what? Now we're at the point like, okay, maybe you guys can get to that point where you have a military. All right, okay, we'll allow it. Good.
I think it'll be good.
It's been long enough.
Yeah.
Their GDP is going to go, or their percentage of GDP that goes to the military is going to go up, and I think it'll be a great ally.
And you know when people say like dropping the nuke, that it was wrong. I mean, I remember Tucker Carlson like, well, no one should. Why would anyone be happy we dropped the nuke? That's like to me.
Not why we're happy.
No one's happy that you dropped the nuke. You're happy that you saved far more lives than were taken by ending the war. Japan gets it. I don't even know that they would still have qualms with it. They'd be like,
it's such a pussy way to change people's words too.
Yeah.
Oh, you're happy about the what? You total fag. No, dude.
No one's happy
it's
about
not like we're just happy that the result is what it is.
Yeah.
We're happy that thousands of Marines didn't die in Tokyo.
Well, you can't claim you're pro-life and be happy about dead Gazan children. Who's happy about dead Gazan children? Nobody is. Nobody is. Okay, maybe there are a couple people like happy that Gazan kids are dead Bob, but it's in the name. You see them coming. Yeah, outside of that, no one's happy about it. And I don't like seeing this mischaracterization on the right. I think Japan's a very good example. They're a very important partner, and they've gotten a lot of it right. And we need to recognize that and spend our energy on that. Focus on that. It's a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know why. I mean, the more that I think about Israel and the Middle East in general, it's like, we really don't have a whole lot of interest over there.
No.
Especially not now. Not that we have better oil reserves, better access to all that. We really don't have a lot of interest over there. We have massive interests in the Middle East. And all of our interests in Europe and everything
Asia?
Else, I'm sorry, in Asia. Sorry. Yes. We have all of the other interests are kind of taken care of by some of our other allies in Europe. We don't really have to focus as much, and stuff flares up fine. We should love Japan right now. So I think because of how we started out with tariffs and we started tariffing Japan, and we were like, wait, what are we doing? Like, this should be one of the first people that we work with to see this come around is fantastic.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course. And now, of course, we've lowered. That's the carrot. So great. Okay, cool. And I will say this too. Like, I understand that it's part of sort of the Trump approach. And I wouldn't say it's a neocon approach. We have dwindling resources in a lot of ways. We want to focus that on the region that's a threat, largely the Indo-Pacific. And part of their doctrine is allowing allies in the Middle East to sort of patrol for us so we don't waste resources there. So that's why allies like not just Israel, but Saudi Arabia, Qatar, right? That's the approach. I understand it. I think there is a strong rationale for it. My opinion is that it's just a matter of time. I don't think that long-term Saudi Arabia or Qatar, I don't think they ever get it right. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked what you saw, you can click around and watch one of these videos on YouTube, or head on over to Rumble and subscribe, where I am live every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Live on Rumble. YouTube is dead. Rumble did it. And on Rumble, You can say